If you check your blood sugar at home, here are 7 rules you must obey if you don't want to make the same mistake millions of people are making out there. Number one is that you have to determine if you're going to be doing random blood sugar tests or you're going to be doing fasting blood sugar tests. What is the difference between random blood sugar test and fasting blood sugar test? Random blood sugar test, the tests for blood sugar level that you can do randomly at any given point in time. Maybe after eating, before eating, as you're doing your work, you just check it randomly. Okay, so while fasting blood sugar is the one you do after overnight fast, usually 8 hours fast. You wake up in the morning before you take your breakfast or before you eat anything, usually within the hours of 7, 7:30, 8, or early morning when you wake up, you now check your blood sugar level. So these are the two types. So you have to determine which one am I going for? Am I going for the random blood sugar test or I'm going for the fasting blood sugar test? Okay, so another very important thing that you must find out for this is that you must know their range, so that when you'll be able to say that yes, something is actually wrong, or you can actually raise alarm. Okay, they also aid you to take in taking your drugs. That is why we actually encourage people to do blood sugar check at home. So what are you checking for? When you're doing RBS and that is random blood sugar, if you should know the range that anything above 20, 25, 25 milligram per DL, you should know that there is a problem and you should report to your doctor or your care provider. Then if you're checking for fasting blood sugar, the one you do very early in the morning, you should know the range between 70 milligram per DL or between 100 milligram per DL. Okay, so if yours is not showing in these big numbers, 70 to 100, you cannot divide what you've got. You cannot if you're getting 120, okay, if you're getting the one of lower value, that's millimole. Okay, you have to divide this 70 over 80, or you divide whatever you get over 18. Sorry, 18, not 80. So you divide it, if you're getting 70, you divide 70 by 80, it will give you the equivalent in millimoles. So if you're getting it in millimoles, let's say 7, 2, 3, so whatever you get, that is a smaller figure. Whatever you get, you divide it into, you multiply it by 18. By the time you multiply it by 18, it gives you what it is. So what we are using today is milligram per DL. So between 70 to 100, it's okay for fasting blood sugar of someone, or fasting blood sugar. So if it is lower or if it is higher, you need to consult your care provider, you need to consult your doctor, you need to consult your nurse, you need to tell them, look at what you've gotten today. So when you've determined all this, when you've known all this, you also need that, the next thing you need to do is that you don't just check your sugar level and you trash it. Okay, so you have to keep track record of your sugar level. Your doctor, that's number 2 point. Your doctor or whosoever that is in charge of your care, your nurse, needs to know what you've been getting all this while, so that they will be able to compare it when you come to the hospital with the one we will get in the hospital, so that we'll be able to compare things, So you need to have a separate book. That's number 2 point. You need to have a separate book where you do your recordings. Okay, you record your sugar level each time you check them. Sometimes you may need to check your blood sugar level before you take your BP medications, sometimes before food. So depending on what your doctor actually wants you to do, sometimes the fasting blood sugar early in the morning you check. Okay, so if you're doing this, you have to do what? Check your sugar you have to write down what you've gotten from your sugar level. Okay, so make sure you do what? You pen down everything. So like what we do in the hospital, say that whatever is not written is not done. So if you did not write it, how do we take reference? How do you know that you're managing your blood sugar level properly? So having said that, we'll move over to the 3rd point. So the 3rd point is that if you're checking your sugar level, blood sugar level at home, and you're about to check it, you need to assemble everything together. What did I say? You need to assemble everything together. Not you go and bring the blood monitor, you forget about the Lancet, or you forget about the spirit alcohol swab, or you forget about the water you use in washing your hands, or you forget something. So I advise people, you have a place in your house where you keep the things you use in checking your blood sugar level. Okay, the AccuCheck, or no matter, or whatever you use for checking your blood sugar level, no matter the machine you use, should have a place where they stay. Okay, you put it inside, then keep it in a safe place. So a place where you can easily access. Then you have your alcohol. There's your spirit swab, methylated spirit. Then the swab. You have your towel, your very clean towel. You have the soap. So you make sure that all these things, you gather them and you bring them. Like you are in for a serious business. You know, you are your own doctor now. Yeah, you can check your blood sugar level. So you just have to do it as with all amounts of dedication, so that you get the actual result, because this result you're going to get is something that your doctors will be working with. So if you're watching this video and you've gotten up to this point, I want you to click on the subscribe button to support what we're doing. I also want you to click on the notification button, so you'll be getting latest of our videos, educating videos like this, that will be teaching you how to do things yourself at home. Remember, we're talking about things that you can do in order to get accurate results, so you won't be making the same mistake millions of persons are making. So point number 4, one of the mistakes people make mainly is that they just go there and they go ahead and just puncture themselves and do that, because they're at home. They don't even clean with alcohol swab. They don't wash their hands. Because they're at home, they now puncture themselves and start checking. You know, as our hand is actually a very useful part of our body, because we use it to carry. Every part of the body is useful, but we use our hand to touch surfaces every day. So as you're touching the surface, your body is coming in contact with microorganisms, some substances that may actually affect the result that you're about to get. So what I advise you to do is to wash your hand using a soap. Okay, so wash your hands with soap, preferably under running tap. But if you don't have running tap, you can actually wash your hands wherever. Okay, just make sure you're washing your hand properly, and you after washing your hand properly with soap, you dry it. So after drying it, you come back to your seat, take a seat. So you can now use the alcohol-based swab, or the methylated spirit, to clean the tip of your finger. Remember that the place you're going to be using, we use for checking your sugar level, is the tip of the finger. So people can actually check using different parts of the body. Some products, some manufacturers of blood sugar checking machines may give you the preferred parts of the body that they need, but mostly is the tip of the finger. So you have to clean that place very well, apply the methylated swab. Then before you begin, I think this is number 4, then number 5, you have to also check the machine and make sure it's working. Okay, make sure the machine is working, and you clean the machine, because the machine may even contain particles that could actually do what, affect. Then you check the battery of the machine to know if this battery is actually working. So when that is being done, what else do? You put the battery, you remove the strip, plug the strip where it's supposed to be. So after plugging the strip, you now use the Lancet. Some people usually use normal needle in pricking. So using of normal needle, especially for someone who has diabetes, is not too encouraging. You have to use this special needle that has been provided for this purpose, for what it is. So you use the needle, you position the distance very well, then you prick yourself just once. Okay, you just prick, and it's preferably the side. Okay, you don't come to the tip and you do it, it's by the side. That is where you get the distance. So it's preferably the side. So you prick on the side. By the time you prick, you now do what? Ensure that the amount of blood you are putting in the strip is enough to give you a reading. That's point number 6. You make sure that it is enough to give you a reading. Some people will go ahead and do that and put a little amount of blood, and the machine will be reading error, and they'll be wasting strips. Okay, and because some people will now put too much blood that the portion that has actually been produced will be covered, and this blood will now leave where it is supposed to be and go into the sensor. So when you get into the sensor, it may not read error, or maybe the next time you want to do your sugar level test, it will be doing what? Giving error. So that's point number 5. No, sorry, point number 6. So after this, you now discard what you're using. Remember, your hand is bleeding. You use a cotton wool to do what? To apply pressure and stop your hand from doing what? Bleeding. Then look at what you've gotten there, the figure you've gotten there. Like I said when we started, what do? You write it down. Writing is actually very important skill, life skill. Okay, you have to learn. If you're not used to writing, maybe this or keeping record, this is a time to learn and begin to do what? To practice it. Then another thing, the last but not the least, is that when point number 7, when you're doing your blood sugar test, when like this is diabetes, you've been diagnosed, and this is something you're going to be doing for a very long time. Your doctor will tell you every morning, or before you eat, or before you take your medications, that you have to do this to ensure that this is what it is. Okay, so what I advise you do is that you don't use a particular finger for it every day. So even if you're going to use a particular finger, okay, you can actually change position. So even as you're changing position, there's still it's also very, very advisable that you change fingers in order to give these other fingers time to heal. Okay, why am I actually talking? I'm Oliver Victory, your kidney health coach. So why am I making this video about diabetes? I'm making this video about diabetes because diabetes is actually the leading cause of kidney failure in the world, followed by high blood pressure. So if we are able to manage diabetes very well, most people who have kidney failure today wouldn't be coming down with kidney failure. So this is kidney health class on YouTube. Okay, so if you're new in this channel, I want you to click on the subscribe button, subscribe to our YouTube channel, click on the notification button, so that whenever we release educating videos like this, you'll be the first to know. So if you have questions or things you want us to talk about, you can put it on the comment section. I'll be happy to read through and know what actually you want us to talk about. So don't forget, you can actually reach me directly for questions and answer. There is this WhatsApp link I'll be dropping in this comment in the description section. You can go there, ask your message. So ask your question. I'm actually an author of books, okay, 4 proper books. We have the Kidney Health Guide, where we talked about how you can take care of your kidneys, and the signs of early kidney failure and how you can handle them. So we also have Crushing Kidney Stones, which happens to be one of the best-selling books. If you have kidney stones, or you want to prevent kidney stones, this book is a book that you must read. Then we'll have another book, Stop Kidney Failure in Women. If you're a woman watching this and you've not read Stop Kidney Failure in Women, I want you to get that book, because it's going to help you even if you're in a childbearing age, or you've not gotten to the childbearing age as a young girl, childbearing age, even menopausal. There are things that women do that can actually affect their kidneys. So if you take this into cognizance, it's also going to help. Then another one I'm talking, the last but not the least, is bedroom diet for men. Okay, so the reason why I came up with this bedroom diet for men is I know that men, they are anxious about how to perform very well in the other room. So I brought out this book, and most of them go about taking some drugs that will actually damage their kidneys and their health in the long run. So I came up with this book that will give them something that is very healthy for them, something that is very healthy for their body, so that even as they strive, as they desire, and as this desire is being achieved in having a pleasurable experience, it won't be an end to their life, an end to their health. So I'll be ending this video here. Thank you very much. Don't forget, I'm Oliver Victory, your kidney health coach. Keep supporting me, keep